Alright, good morning and welcome to this video tutorial. This is going to be a walkthrough on the LAMIS NMRS migration. So I'll just take us through the steps. First, I want us to note that we have all basic software will be installed for this program. And first of all is the Java, that's the JDK 8. Of course, and I have my file folder in a migration folder in my C drive. So I double click on the JDK 8 and allow it to run. That's where we start from. So when we're done with this, we'll also need to install Navicat, install MySQL, and then Apache Tomcat. Okay, so on the background we can see the interface for Java installation. Just continue clicking next. Java installation is somewhat straightforward. Just continue clicking next and allow it to run. Alright, so we click next and allow this to run. Alright, now so we click close. With this, we've been able to set up our Java, to install our Java, but then we'll need to set up the environmental settings to point at the Java bin directory. So we need to go down to our bin path for the JDK 8, copy the bin path and go to environmental settings to point to environmental settings in this direction. So go to the search bar and search for environment. You can see edit the system environment, click on that, click on environment variables, double click on the path to open up, delete every other path that talks to Java. We see this, delete all of them and click on new and then paste the path we just copied and click OK, OK and OK. So we are done with this configuration. Now let's install Apache Tomcat. By that we just double click on the software and it opens up. Click next and agree to the terms and conditions. Click next. We may want to input our username as admin and our password as admin123. But this time the admin for password starts with a capital letter. Then we click next, next, install and give it time to run. Once this is finished, click finish, and then we may want to set up our Apache Tomcat. So to do this, let's go to our C drive to program files and look for our Apache Tomcat. Open it up, open Tomcat 90, open web apps, manager, web inf, and then we'll open this with a notepad so we can edit and add more space for Apache Tomcat. So I will open this with notepad and then go down to where I have the RAM allocation and then change this to 256 million. Do the same thing to this. And then change this to 250. Go here and then save the file. With this we are good with this other setup. Save the file and close it. Now take some steps back to bin folder rather, and open Tomcat 9W. So you may come down to Java and set this RAM size to 2048 and change this to 4096. That's 2 gig and 4 gig respectively. Okay. And then set your startup type to automatic. We can also do this at our command prompt. So let's go to command prompt, services rather. So let's go to services, run it as administrator and set our Tomcat to start automatically. Apache Tomcat is somewhere around here, and then Yeah, Apache Tomcat is here. I would right click and check to confirm that it's also automatic. Fine, so you could always change it here also. Alright, that being said, we are done with setting up our Tomcat. We may want to also set up our Navicat at once. Go back to the migration folder, double click on Navicat to allow it launch. Alright, click next and agree to the terms and condition and move on to next. And I'll want to create a desktop icon, so I'll go next and install. Alright, once done, click finish, and then it's time to install our workbench. So I'll double click on my SQL and allow it to run. Alright, at this point click next and next. Okay, so you click yes and then execute all of this. Give it time to execute all the programs. After the complete installation, just click next and move on to the next level. Next and next. You may want to input your password here, and of course the password is root ROOT small letters. Although it may tell it's weak, you can just simply go ahead. Next, and execute this. Alright, once done executing, click finish and then next. Finish. Next, you may want to test your connection to see if your password is okay and everything is fine with password roots. Click check. Of course, it's a confirmation, so you click next and execute this. Alright, so once done executing, click finish, next, finish. You may want to minimize this. Where am I? Where's my workbench? What did I do? Yeah, it's launching. So you may want to launch this by clicking on local instance MySQL, and your workbench would be launched. Alright, so at this instance we would want to create our database. So I just had some what's it called? I had some scripts that were written already, so I could just select them and run. I'll create my database, and of course it's successful. Next I want to refresh this, so I have my database up here and set the NMRS database as a default schema. And of course all these scripts, you can also find them on the SOP, which of course is what determines my sequence here, or perhaps I'm adopting for this. So the next thing we want to do is to create, let me expand this. The next is to create a user. I'll like this and run. And my user is created, so I grant privileges. I like this and run. It's successful. I would flush. I like this and run. It's successful. I'll set global SQL mode. I like this and run. I expect it not to. Fine, so we are good. Alright, so at this point I may want to continue with these processes on my Navicat. So I'll go over to Navicat and create connection to the database. Remember, we had set up Navicat before and we requested for desktop icon. So I'll double click on the icon and allow it to launch. It's a trial mode I'm using, so I just click on trial. So if you're launching for the first time, all you need to do is just click on connection, and then you'd say my SQL connection, and then state your database as your connection name, whatever you may want to call it, and then the password to the connection, and click OK. You may want to test the connection to see if it's successful, and then click OK. But I've just done that, and then eventually that gave me this NMRS. This is my connection name, NMRS, which links me up to my database. So I would want to create a database. Alright, so now we would want to import a blank OpenMRS database. All we need to do is just click on the yes, OpenMRS, right click and go to execute SQL file, it takes us down here. The database we are bringing in is not multiple query, would not need multiple query in execution. So uncheck that and navigate to where we have the database, which is in my C drive and my migration folder and blank open NMRS. Select that and click open, and when it comes down here, start importing and give it time to run. Alright, so with this we are done importing our blank DB, so we could just click close and then run the rest of the query. Alright, so let's get to the query. So you can get all this query from the SOP as well. Sets global SQL mode now is successful, and the rest of the query also. You select all of them all at once and click run selected, or you could just take one after the other and run them. So now we have successfully run the updates to the blank DB.